Kody Brown is in deep financial hardship. He's barely making ends meet keeping up with Robyn's children's expensive lifestyle. And now, unbelievably, he's been instructed to vacate the premises. Robyn, in tears and repentant, has apologized hands folded, declaring she'll do away with the life of luxury. But that's not all. Kody has now turned to Janelle. Yes, Janelle. And requested money from her. Hey friends, welcome back. I'm Good and you're watching Scope and Spill, where we scope out the drama and spill all the juicy secrets. What's actually happening behind the scenes between Kody and Robyn? Their history of spending speaks volumes. You may recall that fancy house in Flagstaff, Arizona, the one with all the high-end amenities and a heated driveway. That wasn't a nice little house. It was a mansion, and it only cost an eye-popping $2.1 million. The down payment alone was $420,000. Kody and Robyn even sold their last luxurious house for $1.6 million in 2024, which also featured that decadent heated driveway, something that can range from $7,000 to $30,000 depending on the style. And although the show once seemed down to earth and real, remember that the Browns once struggled financially. Kody and Mary went bankrupt in 2005. Janelle did the same in 1997. But things changed when Kody and Robyn began to spend lavishly. And now there are whispers on the internet. Some of the Reddit community think Kody and Robyn might have been concealing assets from the other wives prior to their splits, investing in pricey art and designer goods as a means to set themselves up for the future. There's no evidence for that, of course, but it's leaving everyone speculating. Was all of this in a master plan? Keep watching until the end. What we're about to reveal could change everything you thought you knew. It's getting increasingly clear Kody and Robyn have a lifestyle much more extravagant than the rest of the family. On Reddit, fans haven't been shy. Many are blaming Kody and what some have dubbed his villain wife Robyn for living like Hollywood stars while the rest of the Brown family is suffering. One fan even likened them to the Chrysley family, a reality television clan who landed in major legal hot water for conspiracy and tax evasion. That sort of comparison says a lot about the public's perception of Kody and Robyn. They are even being referred to as a contemporary Bonnie and Clyde. Now, to be fair, they have not yet been charged with anything, but their rumors are loud. It's not only the houses, it's the shopping as well. Robyn and Kody allegedly spent $20,000 on art pieces alone. Kody boastfully sports a $100 luxury David Yurman Heart of the Ocean necklace and has a collection of Rolex watches, each priced at thousands of dollars. More outrageous, Robyn allegedly spent $70,000 on American Girl dolls and tailored clothing for the dolls. Yep, $70,000 on dolls. Dear, nowhere's where things get really interesting. Kody recently split up the Coyote Pass land and awarded high-sex wives bigger portions. But Christine, not at all. Does this mean Kody's finally come around to his senses? Or is it something else again? Some think he's getting the heat, maybe from threats of a lawsuit, and donated the land so he wouldn't get into more trouble. The cracks in their image are beginning to appear, and then a devastating twist. One phone call, only one, had many believing that Robyn never cared for Kody's children the same as the other wives. From the start, Sister Wives has captivated viewers with Kody Brown's life as a polygamist. 4 marriages, 18 kids. But in March of 2024, tragedy hit when Garrison Brown, Kody and Janelson died by suicide. It destroyed the family. Kody, Janelle, the whole thing was left heartbroken. His death wasn't merely a private tragedy. It was a crushing heartbreak that rattled the entire Brown family to its foundation. And now viewers of the current episodes are seeing everything in a different light, questioning just how much of what we witnessed on TV was authentic and what was hidden from us. Stay with us. The truth is revealed. In what was one of the most tragic scenes so far, viewers were left reeling not only by the tragedy of Garrison's death, but by Robyn's detached and aloof response. As the rest of the Brown family wrestled with unimaginable sorrow, Robyn seemed to be oddly detached. In season 19, episode 23, she remembered when Kody informed her that Garrison, his son with Janelle, had taken his own life at the age of 25. Her initial reaction was a flat, emotionless, "What?" Something that didn't quite sit well with viewers. While the rest of the wives grieved about Garrison as though he were one of their children, Robyn only spoke about Kody, about him and not his son. "I was just trying to get the information. Be with him," she explained. There was no reference to Garrison in her statement to Janelle or to calling upon the grieving mother. Reddit fans were fast to catch. Robyn never really accepted Kody's other kids as her own family. She was different from Mary, Janelle, or Christine, who embraced each of the 18As their own in that they were his children to her alone. And this isn't solely about this situation. Robyn is famous for crying more often than not over something irrelevant: gift parties, small quarrels, simple farewells. But with the tragedy of a heartbreaking loss, there were no tears, no grief, only silence. This seriously angered the fan base. In the meantime, Kody's former wife, Mary, provided a vastly different vibe. In an interview with the show's producers, her phone rang. Kody was on the other end. At first, she did not pick up, but when he continued to call, she knew something was amiss. Alarmed, she rushed to Kody and Robyn's home, where she found Christine's daughter, Gwendolyn, sitting with Kody. The screen faded to black, but viewers could feel the heaviness in the room. And that contrast between Mary's urgency and Robyn's emotional distance raised big questions. How could someone who had known Garrison for over 10 years not feel the weight of his loss? Keep watching, because what follows will tell us even more about the tenuous relationships in the Brown family. Viewers saw a poignant moment as the camera faded back and a little girl holding Mary tightly, utterly distraught. This sweet photo spoke volumes. Despite the cracks in the Brown family's foundation, moments like this prove that except for Robyn, the rest of the family still holds on to a deep emotional bond. Mary didn't hesitate. She called Janelle right away, letting her know, "I'm coming over. I'm going Toby with you." Her instinct was to show up for the people who mattered most. This emotional reaction was everything fans have come to expect from the original wives. While Robyn's cold and calculated demeanor left many questioning her place in the family, Mary's warmth and compassion reminded fans why they once admired the unity in this unusual household. At the end of the day, a tragic loss like Garrison's shouldn't be about titles, mother, stepmother, wife. It needs to be about love and loss, and that's something Robyn appeared reluctant or incapable to say. But if you believed the family's emotional split was the only drama in this installment, think again. As season 19 rolls on, the drama is thicker than ever. What began as a Valentine's Day special soon became an endless series of bitter surprises. Kody Brown, never one to turn down the spotlight, spoke out about a secret that's haunted him for years. And this time, he's accusing squarely at Mary. In the April 27th episode titled "Love Covers All Wrongs," Kody claimed that Mary's clinginess in the early days of their marriage pushed him away. According to him, the constant physical affection, her sitting on his lap, touching him even in front of the other wives, made things deeply uncomfortable for the rest of the family. He indicated that Janelle's mom had once pulled him aside and told him, "Janelle feels uncomfortable seeing you being so affectionate with Mary." That did it. Rather than attempting to balance affection, Kody explains that he did the opposite. He closed down. He took away all physical intimacy from Mary and never gave that level of affection a chance to happen with Janelle. It was his version of maintaining peace. But in the process, he might have ruined any possibility of true intimacy in all his marriages. What's certain now is that the emotional barriers Kody constructed didn't only keep jealousy out, they also kept love from ever entering. And this jaw-dropping admission is only the start. Tune in, because the drama, the heartache, and the reality behind the Brown family's disintegration is far from over. Throughout the dramatic moment, Both of the wives opened up, discussing their side of an ongoing problem that's been bubbling under the surface for years. The affection or the lack thereof. Robyn, Kody's fourth and current sole wife, finally acknowledged what many viewers had long suspected, that the family's early decision to refrain from public displays of affection was perhaps a monumental error. In her terms, it made everyone feel alone. For many, though, that revelation comes much too late. Janelle, ever the voice of reason, was blunt. She said, "There should never have been rules to start with. Every couple needs to be able to do what works for them," she asserted firmly without having to deal with everybody else's feelings. Christine, now far from Kody and no longer restrained, said it was downright insulting to see Kody play lovingly to their wives when her own marriage to him was falling apart. Christine also cried foul on a trend many fans had already noticed. Robyn was just too darn comfortable being showered with attention in front of the other wives, and Robyn herself, she didn't dispute it. She confirmed she had become accustomed to that kind of attention, validating what the others had only speculated about for years. Mary, on the other hand, adopted a more introspective tone. She confirmed the affection problem had always been situational. "When we were in a good place," she explained, "I didn't mind seeing him being affectionate with the others, but as their relationship waned, so did tolerance." Kody seconded the feeling at last, admitting that he and Mary came to realize quite early on in their marriage that they weren't compatible. But rather than parting ways, they dug deeper into polygamy, hoping somehow it would repair what was by then broken. That dream ended this season. In one of the most tearful moments of Sister Wives to date, Kody and Mary formally ended their 32-year relationship. In their private, gut-wrenching goodbye, Kody gazed into Mary's eyes and said quietly, "Mary, it's the end of an era. We had something." Mary nodded in agreement, but home viewers were left guessing. Were those tears of Kody for real heartbreak? Or was it just the burden of long overdue relief? As the Brown family now gets to bury Garrison in the family plot, their grief takes on a new form. It's no longer only about loss. It's about all that's been lost along the way. Season 19 of Sister Wives is shaping up to be its most emotional chapter yet. And now even Kody, who once proudly balanced 4 marriages, is setting the record straight. "I've never claimed to be a ladies' man," he told the cameras in the May 11th episode. This time his tone was quiet, vulnerable. In the wake of Garrison's devastating death, Kody admitted the family is trying to focus on the light. "We're doing mourning, things to respect and love the dead," he said, fighting back tears to mourn, to own that pain. And for once, there were no walls, no bravado, just a grieving father, a shattered family, and the raw truth finally rising to the surface. "We're doing happy things," Kody said, his voice shaking with emotion, "so that we are getting past the grieving, so that we can believe in the afterlife, in our own futures, and in our own lives." Even as the episode was still weighed down with sorrow over Garrison's senseless passing, moments of light broke through, and there were glimpses of healing to be seen. In a bid to reestablish contact with his heritage and possibly with his people, Kody brought Robyn and their kids to visit his hometown in Wyoming. It was not just a nostalgic excursion. There, Kody guided them through the streets of his history, pointing out signs he used to hand paint for businesses years ago. Little remnants of a life before the cameras, before the weddings, before the heartache. The family shared laughter together at meals in a local Erie. The atmosphere light and warm, if temporarily. At dinner, Kody related a personal anecdote about himself, the source of his name. Motivated by Buffalo Bill, the famous showman and scout. Kody described how his father had looked up to the performer's free-spirited existence. He was a scout with the U.S. Army, Kody said, and afterward became friends or perhaps business associates with Sitting Bull. They toured together in the Wild West show. Robyn laughed and joked. "So, do you think that's like you? I think I'm kind of entertaining." Kody said with a smirk. I try to entertain you, don't I? They all laughed. Not often heard nowadays. But when Kody continued, I think Buffalo Bill was probably charming, very entertaining, very friendly, and perhaps a bit of a ladies' man. The table exploded in laughter. Kody glanced around slightly bewildered. Why is that humorous? I inquired. I'm not admitting that I'm Alad's man. I never did. I was a polygamist due to religion. Making direct eye contact into the camera, Kody doubled down. I had 4 wives. That's it. I wasn't a ladies' man, and having 4 wives didn't make me one. But Robyn wasn't convinced. He did have 4 wives, she said with an arched eyebrow. Most people would probably say that's a ladies' man. But whatever. Even in mourning, even with cracks in the foundation still evident, the family, or what's left of it, is catching glimpses of introspection, of humor, and perhaps, just perhaps, of growth. But Kody's last pronouncement may be the most revealing of all. Having survived 3 divorces and the breakup of a family that was once held up as an example of plural love, he declares it now simply and for good, I would never do polygamy again. Throughout Season 19 of Sister Wives, the dissolution of a legacy founded on religion, sacrifice, and a love that perhaps never was reciprocated equally continues. Kody Brown looks back at his relationship with his deceased son, Garrison. In the recent heartbreaking installment of Sister Wives, Kody Brown is starting to face the unimaginable tragedy of his son, Garrison, whose untimely death occurred when he was only 25. As the Brown family tries to absorb the shocky news, Kody confesses, there's so much left unsaid, so much left undone. Noting the intricately complicated and unresolved character of their relationship, the May 4th episode left viewers reeling after learning that Garrison had died by suicide. In the May 11th episode, Kody opens up about his personal journey through grief. Hesher's, sometimes out of the blue, it'll overcome me almost like some kind of anxiety attack. Just a deep, overwhelming feeling that I'll never see him again. As Kody continues to wrestle with his emotions, a particularly poignant moment occurs when he recounts a visit to Wyoming where Garrison's ashes were laid to rest. With raw honesty, Kody describes the bittersweet ritual. We're doing mourning things to respect and love the dead, to mourn, to own that pain. And we're doing happy things so that we are moving on from grieving, so we can believe in the hereafter and in our own futures and in our own lives. Walking through the stages of grief is no easy task, as Kody admits that it's been an ongoing battle with his own emotions. Garrison's poster will always be in my garage, and I'll always see it and wonder what was missed in the future that could have been. Kody confesses, and it's a game of consciousness to move with grief, to make your blood sweet instead of bitter from the pain. This intensely emotional moment not only reveals the cost that the loss of Garrison has exacted on Kody, but also his attempts to live up to his son's memory and work through the painful, if necessary, process of healing. As Sister Wives goes on, it becomes obvious that the Brown family's experience through loss is by no means finished. Kody Brown looks back at his troubled relationship with Garrison and Gabriel during the years prior to Garrison Brown's untimely death. The father-son relationship had been tense. Kody Brown's strict COVID policies were a significant source of contention within the family, with Garrison and his brother Gabriel feeling isolated from their father. The aftermath of these disputes was often brought up on Sister Wives, with various members of the family sharing how these issues drove a wedge between Kody and his sons. Janelle Brown especially did not see eye to eye with Kody's adamant stance on the issue. In a 2023 episode, Janelle had a concern about her son's welfare. Gabriel senses everything very, very deeply, and Garrison just appears angry or sadder. He's not as happy-go-lucky anymore, she noted, recalling how the schism had emotionally devastated the family. During a confessional interview, Gabriel Brown described his view of the feud, stating, Me and Garrison don't agree with our dad because when we told him how unhappy we were with the way things were being handled with Co, I was hit with just a wall. There was no line of dialogue. I think that was what really drove the wedge between us. In another episode, Garrison revealed that despite their efforts, the brothers felt their attempts to reconcile with Kody were met with neglect. We've reached out and tried to be open, but it's been neglected and overlooked for offenses that were believed to have happened, but they never did, Garrison said in a confessional interview. Kody Brown, however, pushed back against his son's accusations, claiming that he acted out of a desire to keep his family safe from the pandemic. But after Garrison's passing, Kody tells people that he wishes he hadn't let things get so stranged. The only thing you can regret is just taking advantage of the time, he says, getting choked up. I want to go out to dinner. I want to sit down. I want to have a beer. I wish Garrison would attempt to make me laugh, because that is how he was. As Kody is still grieving, he is attempting to build relationships with his older children. Although there's always a chance that his apologies will not be enough to mend the hurt. The Kody of today is no longer that bright-eyed, smiling man of previous seasons. Instead is a wiser, more cynical man. His eyes hardened, his features thinner, and a hint of bitterness seeping beneath the surface. And yet, in spite of it all, glimpses of softness still manage to shine through, particularly when he's with his wife, Robyn Brown. Kody Brown extends the olive branch in Season 19 of Sister Wives. Season 19 of Sister Wives finds Kody Brown trying to deal with the tension between his ex-wives about the unsold Coyote Pass land. His procrastination in selling the land created conflicts perhaps to exercise control or try to get a reaction out of them. But as the months went by, Kody did something that altered the dynamics to some extent. He expanded Janelle and Mary Brown's stakes in the property and ultimately put the house on the market. Both women received $35,000 in cash, a financial blessing that might have eased the wounds of the past, including the increasing emotional distance in their spiritual marriages. In recent installments, Kody shares that he's been reuniting with sister wives Janelle and Mary and two of his older sons while visiting Utah. Although the sons' identities are unknown, these encounters indicate a positive change. For several years, Kody had been working under the impression that it was his children who needed to make the overtures toward him and mend the frays in their relationships. But this line of thinking, it appears, was erroneous. As a father, Kody's job is to provide love and care. But what his older kids are likely to hate him the most for is feeling like he wasn't an emotional safe space they could run to. They desire a father who's there for them when they need him. Without it, it's difficult for any kid to feel secure. This awareness appears to come to Kody as he's spending time with his children by extending himself to them. Instead of waiting for them to come to him, Kody might be able to start a new one based on healing and repairing relationships. This change might provide much-needed solace and in the process give Kody a sense of peace as he strives to create stronger connections. Season 19 has not been smooth sailing. Kody is no longer a young man, and he's coming around to seeing the value of building these very important family ties. In spite of the rocky road ahead, he's determined to try. Even though past wounds are hard to mend, after all, nothing is worth more than making a child loved, protected, and respected. In so many ways, Kody's affection for Robyn has been impossible to keep hidden. As his relationship with her has been understandable to the public, his conflicted thoughts regarding being in a plural marriage have made his emotional path more complex. Although he might have attempted to hide his feelings for Robyn before, her presence in his life has made hiding them impossible. His polygamy marriage is now an open book with Kody torn between loving Robyn and fulfilling his obligations to his other wives. Kody Brown's conflicts with family life and loving Robyn. Kody Brown's passion for Robyn has created a ripple effect within his family, one that has created tremendous unease not only for him but for those who are dearest to him. His children in particular have been forced to deal with the anguish of seeing their father's love for a woman who is not their mother. This situation, One, that, occurred in public view, caused them to see their mother cry, become jealous, and feel great disappointment. The personal cost of viewing these raw emotions and witnessing the times they were breaking apart is one that would be forever seared into their consciousness. It's a burden that they bear, one that generally tints the way they perceive their father. And this, Kody acknowledges, has impacted the way he sees his children. Kody himself admits that most of the issues he's had with his children stem from his affection for Robyn. He feels he's being penalized for selecting her, for prioritizing her over the rest of the women in his life. This, in his view, has imposed an indelible tension upon his relationship with his children. Maybe somehow he is being made to answer for that love. But the question is, can these ties ever really be mended? B.